welcome back to Man Time. And I have Damian Spaulding with me this evening, and we've been, you've been singing. We've been singing.
You're singing next, right?
No, I don't. No. And we've had some shots of your Collingwood studio.
Yeah.
And so, you're Jamaican background.
Yes.
Born in.
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. I moved to Canada when I was very, very young. And you can't tell by the way I speak, I'm sure. I'm over the phone, no one can tell where I'm from because I don't fully sound Canadian or anywhere. I'm very non-localized.
But especially when you
wear a skirt, yeah.
A skirt, so then that could be.
And then people think I'm from Africa or Ethiopia.
I don't know. I think as a white guy with a skirt on, I don't think I could sort of.
You could. I've converted a few
already.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you've converted guys to wearing skirts?
Yes, you go to the Barry's Farmers Market, you'll see a guy or two hanging around wearing. You'll see.
So, do you attribute music to being the joy of your life, or your wife?
Ouch! When she's in the studio.
Oh no!
Of course, I'll have to go with my wife.
Of course, you have to go with your wife.
As she fists her hand in the background.
But I did want to ask you about how wonderful music is for stress, to ease stress in one's life, and dexterity and the mind, and keeps us active mentally. And
I remember when I first moved to Barrie many moons ago. I didn't have a piano at the time, and I was going through a very stressful season of my life. And it was funny. There were some nights, some Friday night would come. It's like, I need a piano. I need a piano. I need to.
Really?
I was running around, pupils dilated. I need this music fix because I needed to alleviate my stress somehow. Do you mind? Yes. Okay. So from there, I'd have to dupe someone into allowing me to play one of the instruments because it is such a relief.
Find a piano bar somewhere.
I know. Well, I was looking for that.
I don't think there are
unlocked church. I'll break into some church. That'll. They always have a piano somewhere.
Or an organ or something.
Yeah. But yeah. No. In essence, the ability just to sit there at no matter what day you're experiencing and pour yourself into that. Yes, there's no green chord, but you can express yourself and feel fulfillment, great fulfillment through whatever instrument of choice. Yes.
Yeah. So, it's how music touches us emotionally.
Yes.
Right? Because some songs can bring us to tears.
Yes.
You like the X Factor and American Idol, and you get some of these young kids singing.
Yes.
Amazing Grace, or some of them singing, I don't know, a Celine Dion song or a Whitney Houston song.
Yes.
And it runs the hairs on your back, actually. So music has a way of reaching us like almost nothing else can, don't you think?
Yes. Even us, and even you look at animals. You look at. I have birds at home, and they just love certain music when I play it. It's one of those things that bridges all cultures, all nations, all. I can sing a note, you can hum a note, and it does. We can go to Ethiopia, hum the same two notes, and it will still hit that human being at a deep level. That's beyond how we might encode our English language or language of a country.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great to see. Well, cultures all over the world. There are different kinds of music. Some of them, like. With the sitar, like Indian music might not be your thing, but certainly the African beat is great.
Yes.
Because we've incorporated that into our music here in North America.
Yes. You'll find a lot of musicians after a period of time, especially North American musicians especially, there's so much we can do out of the chromatic or diatonic scales. And from there, we're left kind of looking for more. And you often see musicians go on little pilgrimages because in Africa they have a pentatonic scale, a 5-tone scale that is out of tune from our scale. Their expression, Whereas we separate rhythm from harmony in North America. You either play drums or you play guitar. In Africa, you strum an instrument and there's a rattle with that instrument. It's very awkward for us, but it's very native to them. You go to India and they have a 30-tone scale instead of just a 12. So all of a sudden, when you hear them and notes that in between that just might sound hideous to us, they're hitting very precise expressions.
Yeah, some of that does sound a bit.
When you're not used to it,
it almost like it bothers our ears.
Yes, because we're not tuned to it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, when I learned jazz, for example, if you drop in the middle of a hard jazz song, it just sounds like disorganized noise. It's a mess. But often I'm teaching my students, if you listen to jazz, and here's a little trick. When you listen to jazz, listen to the first whatever phrase it is when you hear the melody, and try to perfectly record everything that you just heard. Because all what the jazz musician does is they take that progression and they simply repeat it over and over again, but without the melody all of a sudden. So if you're playing that in your head while you're hearing the disorganized mess, it all of a sudden becomes this beautiful, beautiful arrangement. But if you don't have that going on in your head, it's just this massive gnat of insanity. So I find with other music, even classical kids, you know, a lot of kids these days, they don't really desire to learn classical until you say, but if you listen for this, it begins to make sense. So I found that with international music as well. Once I understood how to receive it, it's like, okay, I know what ears to put on. But until then, listening as a North American, it was very,
especially when you think
harsh.
of some of the great classics like Beethoven and Chopin and many of these, they were young at one time. I mean, they learned at young ages. They were writing music at 12 and 10 and 12 years old.
Well, speaking music is a language. We have lingual centers, right? The Broca's and Wernicke centers of our brain that tends to become rigid when we're in adolescence. And that's why you can always tell where an adult has spent their adolescence. Someone might be 96 and spent 80 years in Canada, but they spent their adolescence in Germany. That's why they still speak with a German accent. So you get children that this part of their lingual centers are not fully developed. They then can speak music from that developing center. That being said, though, an adult can learn 26 languages. I'm beginning to learn languages myself. I started Japanese. I started all sorts of other languages.
You were speaking French earlier.
I know very terribly. But
Tu as parlé français? Non. Tu parles français?
No. But yeah, but even though I might learn another language as an adult, I'll have a little bit of an accent to it because it's not as native. So yes, children do have an advantage that way, but at the same time, adults, we have a cognitive capability that children don't have. So you often have young composers that are composing. Not put it this, I can't put. I will put it out this way anyway. You know, you can pee on a wall and call it art, and a child will say, "Wow, that's really pretty. It's very artistic," and that'll be like, "That's pee on the wall." We interpret art differently.
Yeah. Why don't we pick that up when we come back from break? Stay tuned because Damian is hot tonight, even though he's got this great skirt on. We'll be right back. Thank you.